Hello and new moon blessings, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kelsey, and today I'm going to guide you through a Yin Yoga practice that you can do in honor of a new moon in Sagittarius. We can learn a lot about the general theme of the moon cycle that we're going into by looking at the sign, the astrological sign that the moon is passing through. So if you have chosen to click on this video, I'm assuming that you might be near or under a new moon in Sagittarius. The moon is said to represent our subconscious, our emotions, our thoughts, our mind. And so it's thought when we're under a new moon that we're entering into a new cycle. We have new ideas, intentions coming through, but because the moon is in its dark phase, things are not totally clear. It's not really clear how these new ideas are going to play out and manifest just yet. And so with that said, the invitation of a new moon is to simply observe and to practice being aware of what is arising naturally within us. With that said, again, it can be helpful to look at the astrological sign that the moon is passing through to give us maybe a little bit of direction. So in this instance, we're looking at a new moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the sign that is always seeking something, always searching for something, and really needs to have the sense of a mission, a purpose, a guiding life philosophy to feel content with themselves. When the moon is in Sagittarius, we're being asked to look inward and investigate what truths we hold and to determine if those are truths that we have because we have directly experienced them, we've come to the conclusion on our own, or is it something that has been taught to us? Is it something that we are inferring from somebody else's experience? This moon is a lot about getting clear on what our own core beliefs are and living in alignment with that belief system. And so during our practice today, I'm inviting you to put this idea into practice through listening to what your body is telling you in each of the poses. So we make a lot of assumptions about our body. I make a lot of assumptions about my body whenever I go into my yoga practice. I think to myself, yesterday I did this pose and it felt really good. And simple as that, no harm, no foul, but the next day I go into my yoga practice and maybe that same pose, that same shape, the same depth of that shape doesn't feel good. So I'm really inviting you in this practice to listen to what your body is telling you, to honor what your body is telling you as a way of getting clear with what your truth is on a more physical level, and then seeing if you can apply that to the deeper aspects of your life. For our practice today, I don't have any props on my mat with me. However, if you do have props, please bring them to your mat. They can be so helpful and they can make the poses so much more accessible. So if you do happen to have them, bring them to your mat. We're going to begin in tadpole. So from your tabletop position, widen your knees apart, big toes touch, send your hips back towards your heels, and then reach your arms forward. Bring your forehead to your mat. Allow your head to be heavy. Soften through your shoulders. Relax through the lower abdomen. Begin to feel as you inhale your ribs expanding into your thighs. And as you exhale, softening, settling in. And so if this is uncomfortable for you, maybe your head can't quite touch the ground, or it feels like there's a lot of compression in the front of the body. If you have a bolster, you could slide it underneath your upper body. Or if you don't have any props, you could simply stack your hands or your forearms and rest your head down on the stack. And during all of our yin postures, we're trying to be soft. We're not pushing ourselves deeper. We're not resisting gravity unless it's necessary to stay at our edge. And we're also trying to be still, allowing the stillness of the body to communicate to the mind that it's time to also be still. Your breath is your greatest tool in calming your mind. So we're not actively creating thoughts. We're not trying to figure anything out. We're just being open to what wants to come up. Take a breath in here. Exhale, let something go. Next breath in, lift your head. Shift forward into table. And then drop your elbows down, walk your legs back, coming into Sphinx. And so your belly and your hips are down on your mat. Elbows are right under your shoulders. And then just give your heart space a little pull forward through the arms, pull the shoulders away from your neck, lengthen up through the crown of your head. And then we'll soften into the support of the arm bones. You might let your shoulder blades come towards one another behind your heart space, and you can let your head be heavy. Soften into your glutes. If there's any pinching in your lower back, either widen your feet apart or walk your elbows forward to lessen the back bend. Anytime you notice your mind wandering away from this present moment, from the intention of this practice, come back. You don't need to beat yourself up about it. You don't need to judge yourself. It's only natural. But just bring yourself back to presence, to your purpose for being here today. Listening to your body and responding with love and care. One more breath in and out. From here, let's slide our hands underneath the shoulders, bring the forehead to the mat. Take a moment here to let everything soften, feel the release in your shoulders. And then on an inhale, press into your hands, rise up, rolling up through a table position, and then you can meet me in a comfortable seat. Let's extend our left leg out and pull our right heel in towards the groin, opening the hip out a little bit. And then we're going to twist slightly towards the left leg. And so you might be folding just to the inside of your left leg, or you might fold directly over the left leg. Again, we're not pushing or pulling, so I want you to go to the place that feels the most easeful, as to get the most out of this practice and this time. Every exhale, softening into the pull of gravity. It doesn't matter how deep you go, as long as you are feeling significant and interesting sensations, and you're able to breathe fully and comfortably. That's how you know that you're at your edge. I want you to take this transition really carefully, really slowly, being mindful of your lower back as you bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Use mostly arm strength to roll up. Walk your hands in towards you, maybe even onto your body for extra leverage and support as you roll up through your spine, head over heart, and heart over hips. Feel the release before you move into any different positions. And then we're going to move to the next side. And so that can be as simple as just extending your opposite leg and bringing your left heel in towards you. I'm going to turn to face the opposite way just so I stay facing you and you can still see what I'm doing. And so again, kind of opening that left hip out a little bit. Doesn't need to be as wide as you possibly can. Just feel a little bit more of an opening through that left hip, and then we're going to twist towards the right leg, and you can either fold to the inside of the leg or you can fold directly over the leg, and it's just about where you feel like you're able to soften the most. Let your head be heavy. Let gravity do the work here. Once again, moving very mindfully here and staying with your breath as you slide your hands in for support. Use arm strength to start off. Walk your hands in towards you, slowly feeling that release. Eventually rolling up through the spine, feeling all of the space that you just created in your back body. And then we'll lay down onto our backs. So we'll extend the left leg, or rather, I like to bend both knees, feet down onto the mat. And then I just use my hands on the backs of my legs to slowly roll down. I'm going to move my hair clippy out of the way so that it doesn't poke me in the back of the head. And then we're moving into our reclined swan. So you're going to cross your left ankle over your right thigh and let the left knee drift away from you. Soften from the tips of your toes to the tops of your thighs. And maybe you stay here today if that's where your body is telling you to stay. Or you can pull your legs in closer and hold on to your right leg wherever's accessible to you. Maybe to the back of your thigh. Or some of you might be able to grab the front of your shin. Settle back into your breath. Take one more breath in. Exhale to let go of whatever you're holding on to. And then keep the figure 4 shape in your legs, and we're going to let our right thigh and the left foot drop over to the right for our figure 4 twist. And so really getting more into the outside of that left hip. And you can bring this into the side body a little bit more by reaching the arm overhead. It feels like a little bit much for me today, so I'm going to keep my left arm down and just have my hand resting over my left hip. And you can use your right hand to gently, not even press, but support your left leg, keeping the left knee pointing up towards the ceiling, or you can grab a hold of your right ankle, which is the option I'm going to take. And I think I said right ankle, I definitely meant left ankle, the ankle of the foot that's grounded. Settling back into your breath, softening all of the muscles, letting every part of you be heavy. Take another breath in and out. Use your next inhale to float your legs up and then uncross, setting your left foot down. And after I do really big hip openers like that, I like to widen my feet to the width of the mat and then let my knees drop side to side. So since we were just externally rotating the left thigh and the left hip, I'm going to let both of my knees rock over to the left to get internal rotation through this left hip. And I'll take a couple of breaths. And then I'll let my knees come up and let them drop to the left. Again, just a couple of breaths of stillness here. And then returning back to center, and we'll do those same two poses on the opposite side. And so this time we're going to cross our right ankle over our left thigh. Again, softening through our hips from the tips of our toes to the tops of the thighs. And then pulling your left leg in if your body is inviting you into this variation. Definitely intensifies things. And so it's okay if you keep your left foot down today. Even if you did a different variation on the opposite side, our bodies are beautifully asymmetrical, so this side might need something different from you. And use your breath to settle back in, unwinding any leftover tension from the previous poses and coming into this moment. Take another breath in. Exhale, let go of whatever you're holding on to. If you're holding on to something, keeping the legs in our figure four shape, we're moving to our last pose before Shavasana into the figure four twist, just letting the left leg and right foot drop down to the left, keeping the right knee pointing up towards the sky as best as you can, maybe using the left hand as a support or holding on to your right ankle. I got it right that time. And option to bring your right arm up alongside your ear, or in my case, I'm keeping my arm down because that feels better for my body today. I'm just resting my right hand over my right hip. And so that's another way that you can support yourself and support your body, is just by physically touching any areas that are feeling a lot of feelings, that are feeling the intensity of the pose quite a bit. It's a very grounding sensation to feel your own touch. One more breath in here, and exhale, release, floating your legs up, uncross. And just like we did before, it can feel really nice to let both of the knees drop over to the left to start, since we were externally rotating our right thigh. And then switching sides when you feel complete with that. And then we're making our way into Shavasana, so if there's any other movements or poses that you think would feel good to you before you take rest, doing that for yourself. And if your lower back is feeling sensitive, you might just keep your feet grounded. Or if you wanted to, you could extend your legs. And even if you have a couch, a chair, or a wall nearby, you could put your legs into the seat of the couch or the chair, or send your legs up the wall. These are also really nice options for the lower back and for down regulating your nervous system. And so making your way into your Shavasana, allowing your breath to return to a natural rhythm. Allow your body to surrender completely into the pull of gravity. And then you'll hear my voice whenever it's time to come back into this space. Until then, enjoy this time of rest. Remaining just as you are, begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. Notice the way that your breath moves in your body, and allow that movement to inspire you to start moving your body, waking it up, wiggling fingers and toes, wrists and ankles, maybe eventually a big full body stretch, breathing in to stretch. And then breathing out to let it all go. In your own time, bring your knees into your body, give yourself a hug, rock a little bit side to side. And then we're just going to roll over to whichever side is most comfortable for you. And press our way up into another comfortable seat. No hurry here. Sitting up nice and tall when you arrive, letting your eyes be soft. Take a moment to acknowledge how you feel. And then recall your intention for this new moon in Sagittarius practice, connecting to your truth, getting clear on what your core beliefs are, what is your philosophy, and then moving and living in alignment with that truth. And with gratitude in our hearts, palms together in front of the heart center, closing with a chant of Om wherever you are with your breath. Empty out the lungs, release the air. Take a breath in at the bottom. Exhale to chant Om. Thank you all so much for being here today and sharing your practice with me. Again, new moon blessings. In case you didn't notice, in the middle of practice, I had to go and find a sweater. The temperatures are finally starting to drop in Texas, which is quite exciting. Okay, leave me a comment letting me know how this practice went for you in the comments down below. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I put out new classes every Sunday and then sometimes a special one in the middle of the week, just because. Okay, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you again. Namaste.